I do not know where to begin. I was not planning on making this video. I was planning on not continuing racing topics because I'm not really a fan of making this series. But I really have to do it because I just can't be silent about this. I just can't. I just can't. So, um, I don't know where to begin because not only because I'm still pissed off at Bubba Wallace, but I don't know what to say. So, if you guys didn't know, somehow did not know about what happened in Las Vegas, so I don't know where to begin. So let's get to the point, I guess. What happened was, I don't know if this was during the restart. I did not watch the race because I watched less Nascar. I'm currently watching R.T.W.I.P at Texas right now, so yeah, they had a rain delay, so it's still going. Anyway, so during the race, Kevin Harvick and Bubba Wallace were going at it for position, and Kyle Larson with a better run at the back straightaway. He was going to make a daring move entering the third and fourth corner. Larson did make a daring move in the third and fourth corner. Unfortunately, that did not work because Larson got into Bubba's door. So, yeah, a little racing incident, just a bad move from Larson, simple like that, right? I wish that was the case. Unfortunately, that was not the case at all because after that contact, for some reason, Bubba Wallace was mad about that and took out Kyle Larson and he junked himself as well. And after that, both drivers were out of the car and Kyle Larson was out of the car. Thankfully, he's fine. Hopefully. But for some reason, Bubba Wallace was mad at Larson and he tried to fight him. I don't know why not Larson. I don't know why Bubba Wallace wanted to fight Larson. Kyle Larson did nothing wrong. All he did was make a bad move. That's all he did. I don't understand why Bubba Wallace had to wreck him and try to fight his friend, or I don't know, maybe former friend? I don't know. I don't know what goes on off the track between those two. That's on them. So, anyway, I don't know why Bubba Wallace was fighting Kyle Larson. To be honest, Bubba Wallace had no right to be upset because Larson made a terrible move. Just a little racing incident. Nothing wrong with that. It could have been avoided, but for some reason Wallace was just mad. And here's the thing. I can understand that Bubba Wallace was mad. He had a good car. He had a good car either for a win or another good result. All those things. Same with Larson. But I do not justify crashes. I do not. I'm not going to defend any driver that wrecks another competitor as payback. Even if it's my favorite drivers. I still respect the hell out of Kyle Larson and Bubba Wallace. But what Bubba did was just terrible. I don't know if this is the worst thing he's done in his career. But this is one of the worst things he's done in his career since him splashing a drink at Alex Bowman at the Charlotte Roval after the 2019 race. And I'm just not going to defend Bubba Wallace in this case, even if I respect him. And people who don't like Wallace now because of this, that's actually justified. For once, people who don't like Wallace are actually justified not liking him because of his actions. And I just don't want to talk about the previous stuff. I don't want to get into that. NASCAR fans are just too sensitive. But anyway, so I don't know what this. I really don't know what to say. I'm speechless. I'm honestly still pissed about this. I don't know. This is just. I don't know. I just don't know what to say. This is just wrong. And if this is how NASCAR is, when it's okay to see drivers kill each other on track, wrecking each other, and getting away with it with no penalty, or probably just a little fine and points lost, points don't matter in NASCAR anymore. If this is the state of NASCAR, and they encourage this, then this is one of the reasons why I don't watch NASCAR as much. This is one of the reasons. Lack of respect on track. And NASCAR encourages these things. This is just disgusting. If you ask me, moments like today is what happens when NASCAR doesn't penalize drivers, whether it's just parked, whether it's suspensions, whatever. This is what happens when NASCAR doesn't fine, no, not fine, sorry. When NASCAR doesn't penalize drivers or suspend drivers for moments like these. This is what happens. If you just give drivers just a little fine and a point loss, yeah, that'll show them. Oh no, drivers have to spend like $100,000 after getting, I don't know, getting mad at a driver wrecking them. Oh wow, how awful of them losing $1,000, something like that. This just sickens me. It really sickens me to see drivers kill each other. Whether it's just entertainment purposes for fans because of these various gimmicks, or just because NASCAR just encourage these things and they just let drivers get away with it. And it's just sickening that even if you're like a Hendrick driver, a Joe Gibbs driver, or a popular driver, they get away with it. But if a driver, if a random driver just does something, not really a big deal, oh, they get a big penalty. It just sickens me that. I don't know what to say. It's just, this sickens me. Seeing drivers wreck each other just like that, it sickens me. And speaking of like favorite drivers of mine, dealing with this, Jeff Gordon, my second favorite driver ever, what he did at Phoenix Fall 2012, it was terrible. And the fact that NASCAR did not penalize him because he's Jeff Gordon, it sickens me. It's still, I did not know how I reacted at 11 because I was just, watching NASCAR, for NASCAR races, whatever. But the fact that Gordon got away with it with no penalty at all, not a suspension or anything like that, it sickens me. He's Jeff Gordon, that's why. And then back with William Byron at Texas, he intentionally took out Hamlin under yellow, and Byron did not get any penalty because he's a Hendrick driver. It's just, like, I can't believe the sanctioning body of the series and company are just letting it happen. My main problem about this is that when drivers don't get any penalty or just a little crybaby fine or points deduction, it tells drivers, hey, it's okay to wreck each other. Go for it, guys. Kill each other on track and give us some ratings. Because we need them in the chase. Something like that. But it pisses me off that drivers do this and they don't get any punishment. And I'm going to be honest, I'll be surprised if Bubba Wallace does get penalized. He's one of the popular drivers, regardless of how you feel about him and all that stuff. So I'll be surprised if Bubba Wallace does get some penalty. He does deserve a punishment because no driver should get away with this. It's disgusting. Imagine if, a driver takes out somebody because they're mad at that driver and that driver gets hurt. Oh, wait. Speaking of that, let me get into that real quick. So the Gen 7 has been a controversial car because of how unsafe it is and how easily drivers can get hurt from it. And we already got like 3 drivers out, not racing. Kurt Busch with a concussion, Alex Bowman with a concussion, and Cody Ware with something else. They're out because of how unsafe the Gen 7 cars are. What sickens me is that drivers are still killing each other, hurting each other, when these cars are having safety issues. And also because of NASCAR is officiation, like Daytona 2 with the big wreck when it was raining a lot before the crash. All those things, I don't know. I don't want to go on all day about this, but the fact that drivers, just get away with these kind of things while the Gen 7 is unsafe and don't get punishment for it, it just sickens me. And let me remind you, speaking of, like 23 XI, so Kurt Busch announced that he's done full-time racing, or was forced to, and he might do some races. Very ironic that Kurt Busch is a 23XI driver and is part of 23XI still, yet we got Bubba Wallace, a 23XI driver who's teammate with Kurt Busch, took out Kyle Larson, and he did that while there were still safety concerns about Gen 7. Like, here's the thing. I'm all for, drivers showing emotions, drivers showing how they're not happy, showing displeasure on track and all those things. I'm all for that. Just give a little rubby, whatever. Tell them on track, hey, I'm not happy with you right now. I'm all for that. But if you're mad at a driver and you're going to wreck somebody, like what Wallace did to Larson, that's just terrible. What if Kyle Larson gets a concussion from that? Bubba's reputation would be tarnished. And I don't know. I hate the officiation of the current state of NASCAR. I hate the current state of NASCAR the way it is. The fact, I know I'm repeating myself. I'm pissed. I'm just pissed that these drivers just get away with it. I know some of you guys are saying, oh, but Gragson caused a big wreck at the Road America race after killing Sage Curran and caused a big wreck and ran Brown. Got his balls hurt, something like that. He got a fine. Fines don't mean nothing. Hello? He didn't get suspended for that. That's the problem. Drivers are not getting the proper punishment for it. They just keep getting away with it. Something needs to change before it gets worse. Bubba Wallace needs a punishment. He deserves to get punished after what he did. This is just unacceptable. It's unacceptable in the racing world, in the NASCAR world, regardless if the Gen 7 was even safe or not. I don't know. I'm so pissed. This is why I watch less NASCAR. Like, they're encouraging drivers to kill each other. And the fact that Wallace was not sent to the hauler as well, it just shows how NASCAR is. But hey, they're going to look into it this week. I'll be surprised if Bubba will just get some penalty. And no, I'm not talking about a fine. Fines don't mean nothing. Point deductions mean nothing. They don't mean nothing. A talking to is nothing either. Something needs to be fixed. Something needs to be changed about how drivers race each other on track. There's just no respect on track at all. And there's Charlie. Hi, Charlie. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, something needs to happen. Like, something needs to happen with drivers to be told, hey, if you do this to another driver, you're going to get a big punishment for it. That's how it should be. Make sure these drivers don't do what Bubba did to Larson. Don't do what Gragson did to Karam. All those things. NASCAR should punish drivers so drivers can learn their lessons. And yeah, the current state of NASCAR right now, it just pisses me the hell off. I hate to see how they are. It's so sickening. And I hate the fact that the NASCAR fan base are acting like they're in charge too. But what do I know? Sorry about that. Charlie was looking at the window, barking at people. Anyway, so I really don't know what to say. All I can say is actions like today is what happens when NASCAR doesn't punish drivers for their bad actions. This cannot keep happening. This really can't. It is unacceptable. It is disgusting. It is terrible. There's no way drivers can get away with it. They should not get away with it. And it pisses me off that drivers just get away with it. We're just a little fine, probably. Oh, well. Oh, no. I'm losing $35K because I almost killed a driver. Oh, well. So, yeah. I don't know what to say. I'm pissed. People have the right to be pissed off at Bubba Wallace about this. And I get that Bubba is an emotional driver. I get that. Every driver ever in the racing world should show emotions. But if you take it out on a different driver, and if you take it out on track and just wreck a driver, all that stuff, That's unacceptable. That's no excuse. No excuse at all. None. None. So, I guess that's it. I don't want to repeat myself again. And I just want to say, please be civil. Please respect each other in the comments below. Please. If I see any, like, terrible, harsh comments or any fighting, I'm just gonna, delete comments and probably block you as well, because I do not tolerate toxicity. I know it's hard to tell NASCAR fans to, grow up, be mature, act like adults, be civil, be respectful to each other, and all those things, but please, for me at least, it's already bad enough to see what went down at Vegas, and this is just yet another bad look on NASCAR. So they're used to it. I know NASCAR nowadays is used to getting a bad image. They're used to it. But seriously, this is just a terrible look for NASCAR, Bubba Wallace. All I can say is I'm on Kyle Larson's side because he did nothing wrong. He just made a bad move, dumb move. And I'm glad Larson didn't fight back, but at the same time, if he did, it would have been justified, because he didn't do anything wrong. And I know Larson said that he understands why Bubba's pissed, but he cannot be serious at the same time, because, like, I think he's like saying, yeah, I know Bubba's not happy about that, but he wrecked me. Oh well. That's the point. Nobody should wreck each other if they're mad like that. Like, yeah, I get it. Larson understands Bubba was not happy, but Bubba's actions today is just not it. That's not the way to do it. If you want to, like, talk about post-race, okay. If Bubba wants to, like, give Larson a little rub, okay. Whatever. But do not wreck each other, because one of these days somebody can get hurt from a payback. And with the current state of the Gen 7, and while they're, like, dealing with the safety stuff, this is just even worse for Bubba, especially when Kurt is forced to retire full-time because he had a concussion because of Gen 7 safety. So yeah. So this is terrible. I hate making videos about these, but hey, whenever it comes to NASCAR bad moments, it pisses me off. So yeah. So anyway, yeah, bye, I guess.